Have you ever said something in anger and regretted it for months just because you lost control for 10 seconds? Or pretended everything was fine, swallowed your feelings with a fake smile, only to lie awake at night, restless and heavy inside? Anger is natural. Everyone feels it. But how you respond to it, that decides whether you're in control of your life or a slave to fleeting emotions. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "You can begin each day well if you don't let others steal your peace." A Stoic doesn't suppress their anger. They stare it in the face and choose a deliberate response instead of a reactive reflex. And on this path of self-mastery, there are 3 reactions to anger that Stoics always say no to, because each one drags you further away from true inner freedom. 1. Retaliating immediately. Picture this. You're sitting in a meeting, having just shared an idea you've been working on for days. Then a colleague with a smirk chimes in, "Honestly, that sounds like something you came up with in 5 minutes." No real depth at all. Silence falls. All eyes turn to you. Your chest tightens, your pulse quickens, your hands clench unconsciously under the table. And just like that, anger bursts into flames. Your instinct screams, strike back, say something sharp, defend yourself, prove them wrong, win the room. But here's the truth. When you react in anger, you give control to the one who provoked you. In that moment, you're no longer yourself. You're just a puppet of rage, reacting blindly, not responding wisely. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When someone offends you, ask yourself, is what they said true? If not, why be upset? If it is, why not be grateful for the reminder?" A Stoic knows this. Revenge rarely brings resolution. It might give you a brief sense of satisfaction, but at the cost of your dignity, your peace, or even a valuable relationship. So what should you do instead? Pause. Even just 3 seconds. 3 seconds of stillness can save you 3 weeks of regret. In those few seconds, ask yourself, will this reaction serve my long-term values or just satisfy a wounded ego? A Stoic doesn't avoid conflict, but they choose when and how to respond. They know true strength is calm in the face of chaos. When you stay silent, not from fear, but from clarity, you are asserting your power. You're not ignoring the offense. You're choosing not to let it define you. Seneca said, "Whoever conquers their anger conquers their fate." And here's the powerful twist. When you remain composed in the face of insult, it disarms your opponent. It earns respect. It shows that you are ruled by reason, not emotion. Anger is like fire. Feed it, and it consumes everything. But with awareness and pause, you can transform that fire, not into destruction, but into light. 2. Suppressing and pretending. Now let's look at another kind of reaction, one that's quieter, but equally dangerous. Have you ever experienced this? Someone says something hurtful. Instead of responding, you smile politely. You say it's fine, don't worry about it. But that night, lying in bed, the words echo in your head. You replay the moment, again and again. You didn't yell, you didn't fight, but inside, you're bleeding. This is what it means to suppress anger. It's like placing a lid on a boiling pot. You may contain it for a while, but the pressure builds, and eventually it spills over, often in a way you can't control. Stoicism is often misunderstood as emotional suppression, but that's not what it teaches. It teaches emotional understanding and conscious redirection. Seneca wrote, "Anger, fear, jealousy, we don't remove them by denial. We remove them by understanding their source and nature." So ask yourself, why exactly am I angry? Is this about the situation or something deeper inside me? Is this the first cut or the reopening of an old wound? A Stoic approaches anger like a doctor examines a fever. They don't just try to numb the symptoms, they look for the root cause. They don't suppress, they transform. How? By journaling emotions honestly, without self-judgment. By meditating and observing anger like a passing cloud. By speaking with trusted friends, not to blame, but to reflect. Suppressing your feelings doesn't make you stronger, it makes you silently self-destructive. You pretend you're okay until the day you explode over something minor, and no one understands why. As Epictetus said, freedom is not the absence of emotion, but mastery over it. So the next time anger arises, don't panic. Don't bury it under a fake smile. Acknowledge it. Sit with it. Ask it what it wants to teach you. You don't need to act on every emotion, but you do need to listen, to understand, to integrate. Because what you need isn't to pretend you're unshakable. What you need is to become truly unshaken, from the inside out. 3. Blaming others for your anger. Now let's explore the third reaction, one that's so subtle, so deeply rooted, we often don't even recognize it. Blame. Have you ever said something like, "I wouldn't be angry if they didn't disrespect me first. If they knew how to speak properly, I wouldn't have lost my temper. She made me mad." Sounds familiar, right? It's so easy to believe that someone else is responsible for how we feel, that our anger is a natural response to their behavior. But here's the Stoic truth. No one can make you angry without your permission. The moment you blame someone else for your emotional state, you hand them the reins to your inner world. It's like saying, "Here, you get to decide whether I'm calm or furious today." And the worst part, they probably don't even realize they're holding that power. Meanwhile, you're suffering, burning inside with rage, disappointment, or bitterness. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born into slavery who had every reason to hate the world, said, "It is not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." In other words, what happens outside doesn't hurt you until you interpret it in a way that gives it power over you. Let's be clear, this doesn't mean people's actions are always right. Some are rude, some are unjust, some are downright cruel. But a Stoic separates event from reaction. They ask, what can I control in this situation? What's my responsibility here? Am I reacting out of habit or choosing based on my values? Let's take a simple example. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. You slam the brakes, your heart races. Your instinct is to shout, to swear, to let rage take over. But why? Did their action harm your body, your integrity, your character, or did it simply challenge your ego's desire to be respected? Now imagine you take a breath. You remind yourself, I cannot control how others drive, only how I respond. Suddenly you shift from victim to master. Blaming others for your anger is seductive. It feels easier, cleaner, but it's a trap because it keeps you dependent on external circumstances for your peace. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." A Stoic doesn't say, "He made me angry." They say, "I felt anger arise and now I must choose what to do with it." That shift from reaction to ownership changes everything. It turns you from a boiling pot ready to spill into a steady flame, calmly burning with purpose and self-awareness. And over time, something miraculous happens. You stop expecting people to behave a certain way just to keep you balanced. You stop giving away your peace every time someone disappoints you. You become untouchable, not because nothing affects you, but because nothing controls you. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, "They made me feel this way," pause and ask yourself, is that true? Or am I choosing this response without realizing it? That single moment of reflection might be the beginning of your emotional freedom. Because the real enemy isn't the rude person, the unfair situation, or the careless words. The real enemy is the illusion that your peace depends on anything but you. True freedom isn't for the easily angered. We all get angry, that's human. But how we respond, that's where our character shows. Remember these 3 reactions. Stoicism says no to 1. Retaliating in the heat of the moment. It costs your clarity. 2. Suppressing and pretending. It poisons you slowly. 3. Blaming others. It gives away your power. Stoicism offers another path, where every burst of anger becomes an invitation to grow stronger. Not to avoid it, but to transform it. And if you can stay calm when others lose control, if you can look anger in the eye and still choose peace, then you've done more than just control your temper. You've become free. You can begin each day well if you don't let others steal your peace. Marcus Aurelius. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone you care about, someone who may also be struggling with their temper. Because in a chaotic world, the most powerful thing you can offer is calmness that comes from within.